एव्हरीवन, ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा या यूट्यूब चॅनलवरती सर्वांचे हार्दिक स्वागत आहे. जर तुम्ही या चॅनलला नवीन असाल, पहिल्यांदा व्हिडिओ पाहत असाल तर लाईक, शेअर, सबस्क्राईब करायला विसरू नका. सो अप टिल नाउ वी हॅव सीन आवर ऑल द थेरी बिट्स. आतापर्यंत आपण इंग्लिश या विषयाचे सेट पेपर 2 चे पूर्ण 10 घटक पाहिलेले आहेत. त्याच पद्धतीने तुम्हाला माहिती असेल, ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा ह्या यूट्यूब चॅनलवरती सर्व प्रकारचे सेट नेट एक्झामिनेशन तसेच MPSC एक्झामिनेशन याबद्दलचे कोर्सेस सुरू झालेले आहेत. ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा या नावाचे ॲप देखील अवेलेबल आहे. जर तुम्ही प्ले स्टोअरमध्ये गेलात तर ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा नावाचे ॲप तुम्ही डाउनलोड करू शकता. त्यामध्ये सेट पेपर 1 चे पूर्ण 10 घटकावरचे सिलेबस आहे, नोट्स आहेत PDF स्वरूपामध्ये, तसेच युनिट टेस्ट वॉट एव्हर वी कॅन टोल्ड दॅट टेस्ट आर देअर. 10 टेस्ट्स आर अवेलेबल on that. You can go there, you can check there. Okay, paper 2 is also available like English, Marathi, Hindi, economics, political science and other also. If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask me on this number. You can WhatsApp or call 296890477738. तुम्हाला काही क्वेरी असेल, काही विचारायचं असेल, काही समजलेलं नसेल तर तुम्ही दिलेल्या नंबरवरती 9689047738 या नंबरवरती कधीही व्हॉट्सअप किंवा कॉल करून विचारू शकता. आजच तुम्ही प्ले स्टोअरमध्ये जाऊन ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा या नावाचे ॲप तुम्ही डाउनलोड करू शकता. तसेच ऑल एक्झाम कट्टा या चॅनलवरती जे काही व्हिडिओज अपलोड केलेले आहेत रिगार्डिंग सेट पेपर 1, नेट पेपर 2 like that and MPSC also. So please like, share, subscribe, and if any doubt, any query, call this number. So today we are going to see our next what we can say next type of the questions. आतापर्यंत आपण काय पाहिलेलं आहे तर आतापर्यंत आपण आपले जे काही 10 घटक आहेत युनिट नंबर 1 to युनिट नंबर 10 up to unit 1 to 10 we have seen beat wise in detail theory knowledge, correct? And according to that theory knowledge we have seen like 20 MCQs depending upon that specific beat also. Suppose and you know that is whatever the units are there, that is unit number 1 to 10, that whole unit is divided into 10 different beats, correct? And according to that beats we have seen point wise detail theory notes first of all. Then we have seen the which kind of the questions, multiple choice questions will be asked in the examination. So from MPSC as well as SET point of view we have seen the format of the MCQs of that specific theory part, correct? So that 10 units we have covered very thoroughly, correct? If you have any doubt, any query, if you have anything you have to ask, you can ask me. So from today onwards, whatever the previous question papers are there, like from the 15th June 2025, जून मध्ये जे काही तुमची एक्झाम झालेली आहे प्रीवियस इयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स वी कॅन से दॅट. and 15th June 2025 paper 2 English we are going to see which type of the questions they have asked in the examination and which theory bits they have focus. That things we are going to see today. It means just we are taking the explanations with the answers of previous year question, okay? Please try to give the answer. After that I will explain that answer, okay? Please give your response in the live chat so I can understood your things also. Please give a response in the live chat. So can we start? Once again I am sharing, if you are new on the channel, please like, share, subscribe, okay? So today we are going to see the 15th June 2025 question paper of SET paper to English. The first question is nothing but what did Marlowe's protagonist of Dr. Faustus ask Mephistopheles to bring to amuse him during the final days of his life? And the options given are Seven Deadly Sins, Cleopatra of Egypt, Paramour, Helen of Troy. And before going to any kind of the examination, whatever our basic rule is there, please read carefully, understood that question carefully, and then go for the answer only. Now you can see here they have asked what did Marlowe's protagonist of Dr. Faustus ask Mephistopheles to bring to amuse him during the final days of his life? Yes, what is the correct answer? Try to give the answer first, then I will explain. Please try to give the answer in the chat box so that I can understood what your opinion on this question. Yes, I am waiting for your response. Please give your response in the live chat. See, if you are wrong here, it's okay, because if your answer is wrong here, you can correct in the examination. So please try to give the answer as early as possible so that we can cover maximum questions in this session. So I will read once again question. What did Marlowe's protagonist of Dr. Faustus ask Mephistopheles to bring to amuse him during the final days of his life? Yes, what will be the answer? And as we know that Helen of Troy, it is nothing but the Marlowe's protagonist of Dr. Faustus asked Mephistopheles to bring to amuse him during the final days of his life. That's why option number D is correct, which is nothing but the Helen of Troy. Option number D is correct. Getting my point? Try to give your response in the chat box, please. Okay, let's see the explanation why the Helen of Troy is the correct answer. Because as we know that in Christopher Marlowe's play, the tragical history of Dr. Faustus, as Faustus nears to the end of his 24 years pact with the devil, he becomes desperate for the final transcendent experience, and he famously asks Mephistopheles to summon the spirit of Helen of Troy, and the most beautiful woman in classical mythology, with the iconic lines, was this face that launched 1,000 ships, and these movements symbolizes his desires for ultimate sensual and the aesthetic pleasure. But it also marks his final dimension as he seals his fate by embracing an illusory phantom instead of seeking the repentance. This is the reason behind the Helen of Troy. As we know that, correct, in the Christopher Marlowe's what done we have seen that. That's why option number D is correct, which is nothing but the Helen of Troy. Then let's see why other options are wrong. Because of this, you will be able to understand the basic things. First is nothing but the seven deadly sins. As we know that while the seven deadly sins do appear in a play as a pageant to amuse Faustus, this happens earlier in the play, not during his final days. And in question, they have asked regarding the final days. Please more focus on this. What they have asked? During the final days of his life. And as we know that these seven deadly sins will be the when their play is going on. In that case, that seven deadly sins will be asked. That's why this option is wrong. Let's see. B option, Cleopatra of Egypt, and it is a figure from history and the Shakespearean drama, but she is not the spectre Faustus request. Yes, it is not regarded the photos request. That is, second option is wrong. Getting my point? Give your response in the live chat. Third option, and paramour, this is a general term for a lover or the mistress, not a specific person or the spectacle requested by the photos. That's why option number C is not also our correct answer. That's why option number D is correct, which is nothing but the Helen of Troy. Getting my point? Yes. Okay, next question. Let's see second question. Sorry. Which of the following poems was not written by W.B. Yeats? See how they are question asking. I have told many times. मी तुम्हाला पुष्कळ वेळा सांगितलं की काय करायचं. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपल्याला क्वेश्चन हा खूप केअरफुली रीड करायचा आहे. And then only we are going for the answer. जसे की let's see here, they have asked that which of the following poem was not written. Please focus on this not word, because they have asked which poem is not written by the W.B. Yeats. Yes, can you tell me the answer? Let's see one by one. The Rose of the World, whether it is written by W.B. Yeats? No, I think it is not written by the W.B. Yeats. Byzantium, whether it is written by the W.B. Yeats? Sorry, it is written by the W.B. Yeats also. Correct? The second coming, yes, it is also written by the W.B. Yeats only. Correct? That's why this is a not answer. This is also not answer. For a Dead Lady, no, this is not written by the W.B. Yeats. That's why option number D is correct, which is nothing but the For a Dead Lady. Then who wrote this poem? Let's see in detail. For a Dead Lady is a well-known elegy written by the American poet Edwin Arlington Robinson. This is written by the Robinson and it is not a part of our Yeats body of the works. That's why they have asked us which is not. That's why option number D is correct, and these are written by the Yeats only. A Rose of the World, this is an early poem by the Yeats reflecting his symbolic and romantic style. Byzantium, this is also a major latter poem by the Yeats, a companion piece to a sailing to Byzantium, exploring themes of art, eternity, and the soul. And the second coming, this is one of the Yeats' most famous poems written in the aftermath of World War I, famous for its lines, things fall apart, the center cannot hold. This is regarding the work of our W.B. Yeats. And the fourth option, which is nothing but the For a Dead Lady, it is written by Robinson, and they have asked which is not written by W.B. Yeats. That's why option number D is correct. Okay. So next question, let's see third one. The novel which portrays the ebb and flow of the mind of the character is referred to as stream of consciousness, realistic, existentialist, social. Yes, can you answer? Try to give the answer, please. It's for you. It can be revise your whole work. So I will repeat the question. The novel which portrays the ebb and the flow of the mind of the character is referred to as stream of consciousness, realistic, existentialist. social, and as we know that it is nothing but the stream of consciousness. As we know that the novel which portrays the ebb and flow of the mind of the character is referred to as stream of consciousness. In unit number 1 we have seen regarding that theory part, correct? Unconsciousness, consciousness, what is it exactly? And here they have mentioned that the flow of the mind of the character is referred to as the stream of consciousness, correct? Very good. I think Vidya ma'am is there. Very nice, ma'am. Your answer is very correct. Option number A is correct. It is nothing but the stream of unconscious, stream of consciousness. Because the term stream of consciousness is a narrative mode that aims to depict the multitudinous thoughts and the feelings passing through a character's minds, and it captures the continuous thoughts and feelings passing through a character mind, and it captures the continuous of a chaotic and the associate flow of character's inner experience. Pioneering authors of this technique include James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, as well as William Faulkner. In unit number 1, we have seen regarding this what is the contribution of these all authors like William Faulkner, Virginia Woolf, James, etc. So that the term stream of consciousness is a narrative mode that aims to depict the multitudinous thoughts as well as feelings passing through a character's minds. That's why option number A is correct. Let's see why other options are wrong. B is nothing but the realistic, and realistic novels aim to represent familiar and everyday experiences as they are focusing on external details, social conditions, and plausible plots rather than the internal subjective flow of thoughts. Realistic, the name itself indicates whatever the real time things are going on, that things will be represented by the realistic novels only. It will be social, it may be possible plots, it may be focusing on the external details, like that only. But they are not they cannot do anything with the internal or the subjective flow of the thoughts. C option is nothing but the existentialist, and it is these novels focus on themes of individual freedom, choices, as well as the meaning or the absurdity of the existing in the godless universe. While they delve into the character's side, they are not defined by the technique of portraying the mind's ebb and the flow. And fourth, D option is nothing but the social, and social novels or the novels of the social realism primarily focus on the societal issues, class structures, and the impact of the social conditions on the characters rather than the intricate internal monologue of a single mind. Getting this point? Anybody have any doubt, any query, you can ask me. Okay. Otherwise, we will go for the next question, which is nothing but the fourth one. A creature feminine is advocated by. Options are Christiva Julia, Cisus Helene, Irigare Lewis, Lacan Jacques. Yes, which option is correct? It is advocated by whom? Yes, try to give the answer. Yes, Vidya ma'am. What will be your answer? Can you tell me? Fasting. Okay. And as we know that it is advocated by Cis and the Helen. Option number B is correct. Because écriture feminine, that is literally feminine writing, is a concept most directly and famously theorized by French feminist critic Hélène Cixous in her seminal essay The Laugh of the Medusa in 1975. And she argues that for a form of writing that emerges from the female body and experience, breaking free from the patriarchal linguistic structures. That's why option number B is correct. Vidya ma'am, it's B, not a C. Let's see why not the C. Okay. First, option number A, Christiva Julia. And Christiva Julia is associated with the concept like semotique and abjection. And while she is a key figure in French feminism and the psychoanalysis, she did not primarily advocate for this feminine in the way of Cixous did. C. Louis Irigary's work on spectaclarity and the morphology of the female body is closely related, but the specific term écriture feminine is more strongly linked to the Cixous. Okay? Yes, with them I am getting point. And fourth one is nothing but the Lacan Jacques, because it was a psychoanalyst whose theories heavily influenced French feminist thinkers, but he was a male theorist and did not advocate for this feminine. That's why option number B is correct. Next question, let's see. Try to give the answer fast. Fifth one, a key figure of the so-called Frankfurt School that relocated under threat from the Nazis, who explored culture through combining Marxist and psychoanalytic theories and argue that the commodity culture is a form of mass deception is. Yes, what is the answer? Options given are Friedrich Nietzsche, Theodor Adorno, Pierre Bourdieu, Michael Foucault. Yes, what is the answer? And as we know that is a form of Theodor Adorno. Option B is correct. Let's see the explanation. Try to give the answer. He was a leading philosopher and psychologist of the Frankfurt School of Critical Theory, and he famously collaborated with the Max Horkheimer on dialectic of enlightenment, in which they argue that the culture industry, their term for mass-produced popular culture, produces standardized goods that specify audiences and create a mass deception also, and preventing genuine critical thoughts and reinforcing the status quo. His work combines Marxist analysis as well as with Freudian psychoanalytic insights. That's why option number B is correct, Adorno. Why other options are not there? Let's see. A. Friedrich, a 19th century German philosopher who was a profound influence on many 20th century thinkers, but he was not part of the Frankfurt School. That's why option number A is not correct. Next, Pierre, a French sociologist known for his theories of social culture as well as symbolic capital, and he was not a member of Frankfurt School. That's why it is not correct answer. And fourth is nothing but the Michael, a French philosopher and historian of ideas associated with post-structuralism, who analyze power, knowledge as well as discourse, and he was not a part of the Frankfurt schools. That's why A, C and D option are wrong. Option B is correct. Next question. The human organ that makes the phonatory system is larynx, lung, tongue, hard palate. And with them, I'm trying to give the answer as early as possible. And as we know that the human organ that makes the phonatory system is nothing but the larynx. Correct. Because this is our vocal cords. You can see here in the figure. This is open, this is closed, this is tongue, vocal cord, trachea, piriform fossa, corniculate cartilaginous, trachea, false cords, vocal folds, epiglottis, like that. The larynx, also known as the voice box also, and it is the primary organ of the phonatory system, and it contains the vocal cords, that is vocal folds, which vibrate as air passes over them from the lungs, producing the fundamental sound of speech, which is nothing but the phonation. You can see here, these are the vocal folds. You can see here, which is nothing but which will be used for the fundamental sound of the speech. बोलण्यासाठी ज्याचा यूज होतो, that is nothing but the larynx phonatory system. Okay, that's why option number A is correct, larynx. With them, it is not the tongue. Actually, tongue is the outside part, but basically where the sound is produced, that is nothing but the larynx. You can see here, when it will be open and closed, there will be the air passes through this and vocal folds. Then only you can use to what we can say that some kind of the sound speech will be generated. That's why option number A is correct. Very good, Rani ma'am, you are correct. It is A. Getting with them, ma'am. If any doubt, any query, you can ask me. Let's see why other nut is there. B, lung. As we know that lung is the respiratory system's part, and it provides the necessary airflow, airstream mechanism for speech, but is not the vibrating source. That's why option number B is not correct. Okay with them, ma'am? A tongue and hard palate are part of the articulatory system along with the lips, teeth, etc. We can say that whatever our teeth are there, lips are there, whatever a small tongue will be there, that are the part of the articulatory system, which modifies the sound produced by the larynx into distinct speech sounds, that is vowels, consonants. For pronunciation of vowels like A, E, I, O, U, we have to use the tongue properly, correct? That's why it is not a part of the sound producing. It is just give the shape of pronunciation, we can say that. Okay, next question, try to give the answer. Who among the following woman novelist portrays daughter and young wife in her novels? Options are Nayantara Sahgal, Kamla Markandia, Anita Desai, Ruth Pravar Jhabwala. Yes, which option is correct? Yes, Rani ma'am, Vidya ma'am, can you give the answer? Please try to give the answer as early as possible. Who among the following woman novelists portrays daughter and young wife in her novels? And as we know that it is nothing but the Anita Desai. In her novels, that is included. Anita Desai is renowned for her profound psychological exploration of inner lives and relationships, especially those of women struggling with the modern life in India. Her novels frequently focus on the intense emotional experiences of protagonists who are often young, sensitive daughters or alienated young wives also, and such as in Cry, The Peacock, or A Clear Light of Day. In such novels, they have written regarding the daughters as well as young wives also. Okay. Rani ma'am, it's not a Kamala Markandeya. It is nothing but the Anita Desai. Option number C is correct. Okay. Why others are incorrect? Let's see. All four are major Indo-English women writers. Yes, know that all have gave their contribution. But Desai's specific strength lies in the nouns portrayal of inner turmoil of these particular female figures. Okay, Rani ma'am, getting my point? If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask. Vidya ma'am, try to give the answers. Next question, let's see. Raymond Williams refers to William Cobbett in Culture and the Society, 1718-1950, who believed that the working people must be in charge of their own educational movements. Which English novel is mentioned by Williams in this context as having a similar position? Options given are Charles Dickens, Hard Times, Elizabeth Gaskell, North and South, George Gissing, The Unclassed, D.H. Lawrence, Sons and Lovers. Yes, which option is correct? Try to give the answer. Yes, Vidya ma'am, Rani ma'am. Which English novel is mentioned by Williams in this context as having the similar position? And as we know that it is nothing but the very popular Charles Dickens Hard Times. It is a very famous, correct. In his influential work Culture and Society from the 1780 to the 1950, Raymond Williams discusses the transition of the working class movements, and he specifically connects with the William Cobbett's ideal of working class self-education to Charles Dickens' Hard Times. With them, it's C, not a it's A, not a C. Let's see why not a C. First of all, see why Charles Dickens Hard Times. Williams contrasts this vital self-directed education with the dehumanizing utilitarian education that is personified by the Thomas Gradgrind that the novel critiques. The novel Hard Times itself is a strong critique of industrial society as well as its educational philosophy. That's why option number A is correct. While other novels address class and industry, Hard Times is a specific Dickens novel that Williams discusses in his particular context regarding the educations as well as working class organization. That's why option number A is correct. Charles Dickens Hard Times. Getting with them, ma'am? Next question. The Book of Myth of Sisyphus was authored by Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre, Friedrich Nietzsche, Soren Kierkegaard. And as we know that the book, The Myth of Sisyphus was authored by the Albert Camus. Because the myth of Sisyphus, that is Le Mythe de Sisyphe, is a famous philosophical essay written by the French Algerian Nobel Prize winning author, which is nothing but the Albert Camus, by the French, published in the 1942, and it introduces his philosophy of absurd, the conflict between the humanity's desire for meaning and the universe called indifference. The final line, which is nothing but the most famous, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy," is an iconic statement of defiant acceptance of the absurd. Why others are incorrect? because Jean-Paul Sartre was author key figure in existentialism, but the work wrote but he wrote works like Being and Nothingness, whereas Friedrich and the Kierkegaard are historical philosophical figures who heavily influenced existentialism with, but did not write with this specific work. Next question. Who coined the concept of heteroglossia? Mikhail Bakhtin, S.T. Coleridge, William Hazlitt, John Crowe Ranson. Yes, try to give the answer. Yes, Vidya ma'am, Rani ma'am, what will be the answer? Who coined the concept of heteroglossia? By Mikhail Bakhtin, this concept is introduced, that is nothing but the heteroglossia. The concept of heteroglossia was coined by the Russian literary theorist and philosopher, which is nothing but the Mikhail Bakhtin. The term literally means it is nothing but the different tongue. Different types of the meanings will be there, and refers to the coexistence of distinct social speech types, that is different types of the voices are there, and within a single language only. And he argued that the novel as a genre is particularly defined by its embrace of this multi-voice reality. Why others are incorrect? That is S.T. Coleridge and William Hazlitt were 19th century English romantic critics, and John is nothing was the 20th century American poet and one of the most famous founders of the new criticism movements. That's why other options are incorrect. Next question I will be giving for you the homework. The normative social ordering of identities and subjectivities along the heterosexual or the homosexual binary, the privileging of one of the natural and the other as divine, is not a primary concern for challenge in Foucault, the history of sexuality, Sedgwick, epistemology of the closed, Butler, gender trouble, Eagleton, sweet violence. Please try to give the answer in the next session. So today we will stop here. I am repeating that if you are new on this channel, please like, share, subscribe, and I have mentioned that All Exam Katta app will be available on the Play Store. On that there will be the different types of the courses of set paper number 1 as well as set paper number 2, English, Marathi, Hindi, and other courses like economics, political science, history, etc. are uploaded. Please go through that. If you have any doubt, any query, you can call or WhatsApp on this 9689047738 number. Thank you so much. नवीनच यायला का आता?